Well, hello there, curling fans, and welcome back to the 2024 Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. We are at the Moncton Curling Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm Dan Holowaychik, and joining me in the booth today is Olympic gold medalist Penny Shantz, who is also the three-time reigning Canadian Masters champion. On the ice out in our ice shed today, we have the ladies championship pool going on. Our feature matchup for this draw number 17 is Quebec versus PEI. Quebec is bringing a 5-3 standings into this. PEI is 3-5 and pretty much eliminated. Penny?
Yes, they are, but it should be a good game today because this is a championship pool, and so we're looking forward to joining, first of all, from Team Quebec, from the Buckingham Curling Club, skip Luann Waddell, third Isabelle Neron, second Cynthia Plouffe, the lead is Natalie Bruneau, and their alternate player is Joelle Saborn. From the PEI Curling Club, or PEI Cornwall Curling Club, the skip is Shelley Bradley. Susan McInnes is third, but we believe that she is actually calling the game. Tricia McGregor is the second, Julie Scales is the lead, and Philip Gorvay is the coach.
All right, so our game is underway here. We have our first center guard up, just off the center line.
And we do have some pretty important games out here. I see on sheet one over there's Saskatchewan playing BC, and they're in tight with in the standings. So one of those teams will drop to 4 losses, and that could be eliminating them from the medal round.
Lots of room to move.
Yeah, we'll be putting up the standings a little later in our broadcast here. If you do want to check out all the scores that are for the games that are currently on and find the standings and where the teams sit with their draw to the button, you can go to curling.ca/scoreboard. So I did notice, this is crunch day. We got, the 2 games left for these teams. Once again, I doubt we'll be able to decide who's getting onto the medal round until the last stone is thrown here. We'll bring you some updates from the other ice shed where all the men's championship pool is going on. In our building, we are also live streaming on sheet 2 the Nova Scotia Alberta ladies and the Northern Ontario ladies on sheet C. You can follow those along on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada.
So we've just started the end here. There is a center guard up by PEI, and the Quebec team, I believe it's the lead's last rock here. She is attempting to come around that. Top 4 foot.
So I did notice, the teams out here this morning. Some of them might be a little bit nervous and tensed up a little bit, but I saw the Quebec ladies. They were kind of dancing in the instruction, and I think they carried that forward from last night. They had the karaoke going, they had the dance floor going, so these girls are staying loose. That's their strategy,
and this is they're going to enjoy the moment. They did have a little bit of a tough schedule, these ladies. They played last night, and now they're back out there again first thing this morning, and then they have one more game to finish off the round robin. So
yeah, I imagine most teams will be having a little rest in between draws here. So nice come around for Quebec.
Okay.
That was Tricia McGregor attempting the freeze. Comes up a little bit late into the top 12 around the guard. So we have Quebec. Luann asking for second. Cynthia to put a rock on the wide side of the ring, so not congesting up the middle anymore. And we'll see if PEI decides to chase this open one or continue to play into the middle.
I played Cynthia in the 2021 club championships that were held at the Hunt Club in Ottawa. And I did notice that on the PEI team, they were also there at the Hunt in 2021.
So the Quebec Stone coming up as a corner guard. So we have Susan McGinnis, who calls the game, and Shelley Bradley throws the last rock. So Shelley out there sweeping, a sweeping skip. Or
that's unusual, isn't it? Skips can't.
Actually, I've seen her sweep. She's a good sweeper.
Yeah.
She's a powerful sweeper. So
she's like our friend Terry Miller from the Yukon. He's a pretty good sweeper too.
yeah, he wasn't afraid to bump his guys out of the way and get right in there and get his hands dirty. So just a little bit heavy on that one. It doesn't touch the red stone to Quebec. So sitting behind two guards. Looking pretty good for Quebec right now. And they do have the hammer.
Oh, and they've opted to peel the guard.
Well, they could have really went aggressive and tried to come around there again. First in, maybe feeling the ice out a little bit.
I think these girls had a big win yesterday. They're playing with a little bit of confidence, and they're doing well.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take this game down to a last rock. I don't think they have any nerves. They got nerves of steel. They're not nervous at all.
So Luann Waddell, the skip, is this is her first event at a national, and she's a skip. So, and they're doing very well. She's gonna
play the run back.
Yeah, I like their approach to the game here. Susan McGinnis.
Tapping.
Line's nice. Needs to
It's like that. 5, 6. Wait.
Here comes. Here
now.
comes. Yep.
Coming down.
So PEI just playing a tap on their top one.
Hard. It's over curling.
Trying to raise it onto the shot stone. If it curls off, if they can get a piece of it, they can open it up.
Leave it.
But that over curls.
Okay.
and she didn't have much handle on that rock. It looked a little flat coming out there, and we've seen on this ice, if you don't have the rotation, you're going to get the curl.
Yeah,
it's going to take off on you.
That was really nice weight, but just didn't have the line. So this will leave Quebec a good chance to hit. They can either try to roll under, utilize their corner guard. Don't really want to roll back into the middle there, side your red. I'm thinking they're going to try to promote that yellow back, so make it a bigger target that way. So
A little bit soft weight here, so
yeah, and
you have to go on it.
you just go to the weeds. Sweeper's trying to hold it, make some contact and get rid of that rock. And
Nice shot.
quiet weight, it hangs on there.
It is third shot though, because they do have a
We can.
yellow rock PEI that's behind the 4-foot there.
Just need a little more weight.
Yeah, so
Back. Just tap. Okay.
So she's just playing the top again. She can see half of that red and try to pick it up, but she is electing to play some quieter weight to keep her yellow stones around, because that red kicker can come into play if all of her other rocks are eliminated. So trying to tap this again, same shot. She's got a little bit more weight according to the sweepers and a little bit more line. This one's on the other side of the 4-foot line.
Good communication though by the sweepers, telling her the weight.
Yeah, and now they're trying, they're changing gears to try to get by and tap that red one.
She's just gonna
just-
tick it. Pretty close.
That's okay.
Pretty sure that Luann is going to hit that one.
No, she's calling for a freeze, trying to use the balls that are behind the back line. Oh, she's got a couple options, so we'll see what she decides at the end here.
We apologize, we do not speak French, so we will let you listen to them.
Yeah. Okay, and she ends up with your call, Penny. She's going to hit that outside one. So she can hit and roll under and leave the two reds lined up maybe for that back yellow. That would be just perfect for her.
I don't know, that looks like draw weight to me. I think she's freezing to the red one, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Red.
Roll. Yep.
Definitely a draw here.
Yep.
She's got good line.
Yep.
And if she does come to it, it would be,
Okay.
looks like it might be hanging
Bounce
just
the
a
red if
bit.
you can. Yep. Okay.
So did get to come into the button area and sit two.
But there is a double opportunity.
The double
I
is
think.
lined up for there, but I think it's going to be jamming into that yellow. So they will get rid of one. If she can make contact with that top red stone, nose, or anywhere on the outside. There is a slight hole come off the red and through those two yellows. That would be her best bet. So I think that's fairly skinny.
But if she makes it, it's a pistol.
That's right. As you can see from that camera angle, there is room for the rock to come off of there. It might be just about natural, fairly close to the nose hit here. So Shelley Bradley attempting the double takeout here.
Yep. Right up. Do it. Hard.
Trying to hold this one out there a little bit.
Right up. Hard, hard, hard.
So it's finishing up
Pretty close.
pretty close to the nose. And
Just tick that.
yeah, they could have let that come up to try to get it a little bit skinnier.
Also make it.
But she does leave her stone on top. And looking at our screen, I think red is still shot,
Looks like red.
but a very nervous position right behind a very close yellow rock. So not a far run back here. And there are a lot of yellows in play,
Yellow is sprinkled throughout the rings.
but they do not have hammers. So right now, that corner guard is wide enough, I think, that Shelley could throw an in-turn draw to the 4-foot on her last one if she had to, and we'll probably have an out-turn. So leaving herself some
Way.
options. Well,
This Quebec team has their family here too. They've got quite an entourage of supporters, as do a lot of the teams that have traveled this time.
taking some vacation in the winter.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep. Wow!
It's a definite whoa.
So, she called her off. It is running down there. She's got some pretty good rotation.
Straight.
Got to curl.
Straight.
Oh,
Okay.
not the result they were looking for.
No, they actually ended up putting the PEI stone behind that guard of theirs in the top house, and leaving Shelley Bradley a chance to get to the top 4-foot and shrink the rings down for Luann's last draw.
You know, it's interesting, at the start of this game, she went up and she was peeling off that center guard, and then her 2 plays later, she decided that she would be aggressive and come into their rock.
Yep.
And they had discussed the hit, which was more of a defensive call, and would have probably been okay, but they decided to go for it, and then it just didn't come in there properly, and it's changed this whole end around.
Yeah, changing gears, and she may be looking at a lot of yellow stones here on her last one to start this game off.
7-8, we're there.
Sitting with a 5-3 record, Quebec still in the hunt, needing the win
Yeah,
here.
we're going back to back. Keep backing. Keep backing.
So they're indicating this is a little bit heavy, hanging out there.
I think going into the game, it's really important to know each end. What is your goal for that end? What is your plan, and stick with it? Like, what were we planning to do, right?
Yeah, as long as you can.
Yeah. So she's got a draw for 1 here.
Yeah, look, facing a couple yellow stones for sure.
What do I need here?
Want to be like T-line?
Yeah, I have to be T.
Like mine is like 4.
That's fast already?
It's fast on it is
Okay.
I think it's that fast because they've had almost every rock down this one spot in the ice.
Yeah, and you know what? And good on the sweepers. They let her know what the weight is out here, and they've all agreed that it is quick for the first end.
And they did have pre-game practice as well, so they were able to break the pebble a little bit.
So Luann Waddell looking for the 4-foot piece of the button here.
Pull that ball.
Doesn't look like
Close.
that guard's going to be any trouble. It's coming out. It is well out there. Got a 15-4, which is very quick out here. Sweepers are
pretty
dragging
nice.
it. They just got
Just got to
to
curl a bit.
curl it in there. It
Oh,
does
that's a
take that
nice
spin at the
sweep.
end. Well swept, but I'm thinking it's yellow still. Let's see, they both agree to it.
She's tapping the red one there, but from our screen, from our look, it
I
looks
see,
like it's yellow.
Yeah, and they both agree that yellow does steal a point there. So the first end is in the book here. And draw number 17, we have PEI with a steal of 1 in the first end. And we'll be back with second end action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our featured game has the championship pool with Quebec ladies and PEI, with PEI stealing a point in the first end. It was almost close to a measure. Quebec skipper Luann Waddell had to get full 4 and missed it by an inch.
Right, it just didn't come up for right at the end, but the sweepers were on it, and it was it's fast ice. It's 15:44, hog to hog.
Wait. Okay.
So in this end, we do have a corner guard up for Quebec. PEI putting the first one right in the top of the Everest button here.
Might have to finish it if you can. Yeah, it's coming now. Yep.
Get lots of late curl here.
As far as it will go.
Looking for a good piece of the center line here to guard that rock in the house.
Well, that's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's up, Julie? Get there. That's good. It's scared. They really
So Luann, with that rock biting the center line and not wanting to remove it off that center line at all and come around, she's going to come around her own corner guard here. She'll probably be making plays on the center one and maybe try to get Shelley Bradley and PEI to chase this one around the corner for a bit.
There's that
This
line
is-
where it kind of tracks there a little bit
Straight.
longer than usual.
Okay.
Yeah, this is hanging way out there. And
Okay, on the front, yeah.
they're trying to see if it stays on the center line. It was okay. If they had actually swept that a little bit to hit it skinnier, they could have left it, but
Yeah, it was up here, but it's okay. It's up to you. It's up to you.
That looks better? Yeah. I forgot about that.
okay, so they replaced that rock.
More even this way.
And now Susan McGinnis is,
I think I overcooked it
yeah.
this way.
Uh,
Oh, okay. Overcooked it.
yeah, they're trying to look for that spot where it was.
Okay. Susan, they're running our clock. What? They're running our clock while you're doing that.
Oh, they were talking about their clock running while they're trying to figure
Go
out
this way.
the placement of that center stone. So we'll see if they give them a few seconds back on their clock. I don't think either one of these teams have been in any trouble during the week for running out of time. So
It's just something to mentally note.
yeah, that should work out. We'll keep an eye on that for you. So Tricia McGregor trying to come around this center guard again. It's hanging out here as well. Sweeper's trying to take this to the back so they don't set up a double on their shot rock on the button.
That's right.
So it's in the back 8, edge on edge with the center guard.
Now Luann can, she can peel the guard as it is the 5th rock of the end.
Yeah.
Or no, 5 have been thrown. So she can.
So either trying to send this one back or hit and rolling for another corner.
Control.
Yep.
Give yourself a couple options to go either way to try to get your deuce.
Just clean. Oh.
Clean.
Oh.
And
Yep.
it looks like it's coming up at the end here.
Yeah, they're not too concerned about it sticking around for a corner. It rolls out, but they get rid of the center guard. And PEI electing to put that guard right back up.
Trish. No. Her mic fell off.
Want to take it off or do I clip it on here?
Well, now they're
Technical
calling for
timeout.
a technical timeout. Somebody has lost their microphone, so
I'm going to do it that way. Where's your shirt? I'll do it the other way. Feel better?
Kind of stick that microphone up underneath your shirt. It's attached to your back and
yeah, you got the
it comes apart. You can feel it back there.
All right, I think we're ready to go here again. Tricia McGregor looking for a center guard. Just short of the house.
3, 2, 3. Julie's wrong. It's out there. You're gonna have to finish it. Get to the line, Julie. Yeah. Get to the line.
She's thinking this is running a little bit wide. She's trying to carve this thing over early and keep it going.
And you know, Dan, it's looking to me like down this one side here, it's definitely not moving like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's taken its time. Like that didn't curl very much, and it actually leaves the PEI Yellowstone completely open. So Luann, she can roll either way with this one.
We did talk to the ice maker yesterday, and he had advised us there was a heavy snow, a blizzard actually.
Heavy wet snow.
Wet snow, and so we asked him if that would affect the ice conditions, and he said no. It would normally be a rain that would affect it.
But they did do some precautions and increase the amount of ice they take off with the nipper to maybe give it some more curl. And it looked like it held up enough last night when they did that. So I don't know what their strategy was in the morning draw, see if they continued with that or not. But right now, yeah, not big curl.
I always find the best ice when I'm curling is in the morning, the first draw. As the day goes on, even if they are doing things to the ice, it just seems a little bit crisper in the morning. Nice to throw on. So there was a miss there, but she did get the back rock.
Yeah, clipped the top one. As we were just talking about, not a lot of curl, but in between the 4-foot lines, you normally do get some, and that one did overcurl on her. So
Hard curl, hard curl.
Really hearing her microphone on her, sweeping.
Hard. Gotta be over here. Yep, keep it going.
trying to guard her shot rock still.
Hard.
Little rub off
She's
that
got
one.
a pretty
Nope,
good
just
shot
by,
there.
and yeah, there's no hole between those two, so it does the job really well.
I would think Luann would have to go up there and peel that again.
Just control, c'est correct.
Okay, Isabel, gotta be careful with the run back here. They do have their red in the back house here.
And she is calling that way.
Yeah, or
So there's more
with
room
the way
that
the
way.
first one went, they did get across the face. I don't know that they were playing this across the face, so we'll see what happens here.
Yes.
Yep, well, they're on it early. Yep, it's
You
looking
trying
like,
to get the back one too?
I think they're getting this across the face. Does it have to get the back? Nope. That one rolls over to protect their own red one.
That's not a bad
So opens it up,
roll there.
guards theirs, and that's close to the house, easy to promote. Susan Innes with a guard attempt again.
Her last shot.
So just to let you all know that if you're looking for any tickets to any of the upcoming events, you can go to curling.ca
Yeah, maybe a touch
/tickets.
Okay. Still needs to curl,
And
but I think it'll
on the
get
website there, you can see all the events that are upcoming.
Coming
I'll
down.
run through those for you guys in a bit.
Yeah, it's coming down. Got to cross the line. It's
So
coming.
waiting for this to come down,
Yeah, it's like a.
and it's going to curl up. For it not to over curl, they're wanting it to stop. And that's pretty good. Right in the middle, no hole. And we're going to see Luann
Ça donne un peu plus.
send this one back again. As I mentioned, some of the upcoming events, Canadian Mixed Double Olympic Trials, December 30th to January 4th in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. We've got the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, February 14th to 23 in Thunder Bay. Montana's Briar is February 28th to March 9th. And BKT World Men's Championship, March 29th to April 6th in Moose Jaw. This is close to coming right back to it. Nose hit a little on the outside. Oh, it looks like a good shot. Gets that one off of
Great
there.
shot.
Rolls it outward. Doesn't get it out of play, but they are now shot rock with the red one in the back 8 foot guarded.
We got a long tap.
So Dan, there is a couple of other events out there that we don't mention. They're not Curl Canada sanctioned events, but I believe there's a Canadian Stick Championship that my girlfriends had won. And also Sault Ste. Marie, Al Harnden is hosting the 2025 Masters, which is 60 and over. And that's in March 30th to April 6th.
Yeah, so lots hurling across our country. Once again, the World Men's and Women's Seniors is coming back to New Brunswick and Fredericton in April 26th to May 3rd. And they will also have the trials out here after the summer break, Canadian Curling Trials, November 22nd to 30th in Halifax. So a lot of curling in the Maritimes, a lot of curling across Canada. So check out the Canadian, the curling.ca website for your tickets and times and locations. So Shelley Bradley trying to raise her yellow up.
And I think that's going to over curl on her a little bit.
It might open up that back one if they can keep that yellow going over. Maybe just a hole big enough to get a rock through. So we'll see if Luann Waddell here. I think she's just trying to fill the hole here. Lots of ice. Trying to promote that red one. I didn't see what she called, and I didn't hear what she said to her team. So,
well, you heard what she said, but I'm not sure you understood what she said, right?
Yeah, true enough.
Oui, la celle au centre, mais elle est loin. Fait que j'ai besoin d'au moins backline. Je pense juste backline.
Okay, back line. So I'm guessing this is a tap back
Right.
on the red.
3-8 pour la taper.
You know, I like this call.
3-6.
She's throwing back line. She's going to throw it into the house, and then that yellow rock will become exposed, and they will only have one more shot.
Okay, la ligne back.
On est 10.
I think she's actually trying to bump
The middle one, right,
middle red. So
closer to the middle.
Yeah, that'll still leave the yellow guarded. This needs to curl up, but it might come in off that
It
yellow.
is. Yeah,
And it
it's
does
got a
just
good
scrape by,
shot.
and look at it, takes that in turn, and look at it curl and bury in the back of the house and behind all that cover.
Great shot, and she left her rock there.
And she can do that again now that she's done that.
Yeah, I can.
Very narrow hole here for Shelley to come through, but she does have backing. If she makes that hole, she could actually just throw the draw through this hole too,
Right.
and just nestle right into that pocket.
It's a pretty small hole.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
tough shot here.
Trying to
Scooch it through that hole.
a little easier to get the line with a little bit more weight. So I think she'd be okay with hitting that and rolling away, and then letting Quebec try that same shot for the deuce.
10, Susan? Yeah. I think so.
So we'll see if this one runs down that 4 foot line. I know if she gets it a little bit out of it, it will really run for her. If she gets any outward motion, it won't come up.
Yeah.
So Shelley Bradley, last stone thrower for PEI,
Yeah, you still have it.
and she
Hit
got
here.
that in there tight on the line. It's holding the line. Good sweeping job here.
I think she's through the hole.
Yeah, I think she I think she actually backed that one up because it looked like it was on a piece of the yellow. She does execute the shot through the hole, but she couldn't see enough of it to stick around, so that rock rolls out.
Now Luann has probably going to play the same shot she just played.
A do-over.
A do-over.
Non, parce que j'ai peur qu'elle aille frapper sur notre...
Oh, she likes this one. Likes this one better.
Plus en avant que l'autre.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's closer to the house.
Ça veut faire quoi, là?
Just come back with.
Elle est sur le bord, là?
So this is her choice. She did just play that other one.
That's an easier one to tap. I just gotta tap it to the foot, 8 foot. Si je batte la jaune qui est dans le là, OK?
OK, fait que c'est quoi tu veux?
I don't know. She made the first one look pretty easy, and
Yeah.
made it. So
Yeah, and I mean she could tap it to her red one as long as she's not too heavy. If it did overcurl, she could tap that center one to the yellow.
we have seen some of
needs-
these rocks over here tracking a little bit. So she's kind of guessing on the ice, I would think.
Does need like a half a rock, quarter rock here. Needs to raise this into,
Back red!
well, a piece of the forefoot would be good enough. Lightly cleaning it.
And it's hanging out there.
Yeah, it's running. It's running on the wide side. So, and I don't think it can stop for shot and get around that one.
On est à l'heure.
Nope. So, our second end is in the books here. Quebec was sitting 1, and they get their 1. So we have a tie game 1-1, and we'll be back for third end.
Don't forget your brooms. Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one little please.
You make moments like these possible.
From cash spiels to Grand Slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup is the championship pool with PEI and Quebec all tied up at 1 apiece. Just going across the board here on sheet A in our curling barn, we have BC leading Saskatchewan 4-0 in that one. Saskatchewan now having the hammer. On sheet B, we have Nova Scotia and Alberta playing, and Alberta has a 2-1 lead there with the hammer. And on sheet C, our Northern Ontario ladies is all square at 2 apiece, with Ontario having the hammer. Those B and C games are also being streamed on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada. And Penny, on the other
side,
curling shed,
the men are playing. And Manitoba is playing Alberta, and Manitoba took 2 in the first, 2 in the second, so they have a commanding 4-0 lead over Alberta. Saskatchewan is playing Quebec, and it's 4-0 there for Saskatchewan. Same thing, 2-2. Nova Scotia, Paul Fleming, last year's champion and world champion, is playing New Brunswick, and New Brunswick has a quick lead. They're winning 3-0 going into the third end. And on the final sheet, British Columbia is playing Ontario, and they're at a 2-2 tie. Trepty.
All right, and back to our feature game here. We've got a lot of guards and nothing in the house yet. PEI was attempting to come around the 2 guards on the right-hand side. and rubbed the guard and left it out front. So now we have Luann Waddell and Quebec coming around the yellow guard.
We're just keeping it clean.
Letting it
Sweeping
bend.
it now.
Lots of room. Set. Room.
We'll get some movement on this side we've seen in the past.
Just on the best
That
way.
one gets some good finish. This one looks pretty good.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Didn't need to be really tight to that guard because it will have some finish.
Okay, c'est bon.
It's a great shot by
Ends up
Cynthia Plouffe.
perfectly buried. We are past the 5 rock stage here, so Susan McInnes can eliminate rocks in the front if she so.
Play, like, move that. Maybe get that on. Yeah, split it on. Yeah, like play like 11. Oh, okay.
Okay, so playing with just through the house weight here, and first objective is, I guess, to open up that back one, and maybe even split a couple yellows on the rings here to, with the hammer,
Maybe 12.
put a bunch in the rings and see if you can get them to count.
Just 12. Okay, we're gonna have to come off this one, I think.
Just a little more weight. It's staying a little
Yeah.
straighter on her.
Now they're just trying to maybe tick it off the front one. It's finishing up pretty hard
It's
though.
coming, yeah.
She just got a little tick on it.
Got it in the house and got the shot
Yeah,
rock
just
out.
a paper more curl, and she would actually hit her own, chip that top one on, and stayed in the rings in the back. But that does hang on in the back.
And her weight was pretty close there.
Yeah, so I think we'll see them maybe tighten that ice up, and then it gets tricky right in between those 4-foot lines, and you get that curl, and right on the line it tends to run for that little bit, and you just got to try to find that proper break point with the correct weight.
On peut rentrer là. Right.
She's gonna come
Luana
around.
asking her second Cynthia Plouffe to come through the hole and freeze that one that's in there.
It's interesting because Cynthia just threw the other turn and made a perfect shot to the 4-foot. She could have played the same shot, gave her player the same shot.
Where?
She just threw it.
Yes. Whoa, 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 let it work. Whoa.
Maybe this turn because
Curl.
maybe the
Set.
miss
Curl.
possibility is
Curl.
fill this hole.
Curl. Curl.
Right at the end.
Yeah, that's going to scrape right by that guard.
Okay.
Great shot.
And she can make it around that guard. It didn't matter which turn she took, right? Look at that, 2 perfect stones.
Like that? Yep.
Cynthia made 2 outstanding shots, one with the in turn and one with the out turn. Nothing to this game.
No, not for her.
Beautiful draw weight.
Yep. Susan McInnes, the skipper, is asking Tricia to run that yellow back, see if she can hit it perfect and get rid of those 2 reds. This is curling up on her. She makes some contact with any in the house.
Oh,
Just
so close.
Whiskers by both of them.
And took out her own
But
rock at the
does
back.
take out her own.
Again.
Opened up the front. Couple tight yellow guards, easily promotable into the rings, but they're going to have to worry about removing these 2 reds. And Quebec is going to do what they can to put the guards up and protect those. And this will be a red rock coming into the rings here if they do try to run it back. So we're into third rocks now. Isabel Neron looking for a tight guard.
Keep it out there. C'est la ligne. Et où?
On est droit.
There's Ras to hold it out there. You know this one will finish up on him.
Whoa, 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 put it there. We're losing line. It's good.
So this looks pretty good.
It's good. Stop. Okay.
So if you can sweep the rock at the start and hold it out onto that line, but if you sweep it closer to the house, that's when the curl is.
Yeah,
So they've got to come off and just let it die on its own.
Right, you can only hold the line out there for so long, and then you're kind of hoping after that.
That's a pretty good shot. Pretty good
It
guard
ended
there.
up. It ended up in a really good spot for them.
Quebec continues to put the pressure on PEI here.
Hard, Julie. Hard, Julie.
Susan McInnes looking to peel this off, red, and roll off into her yellow.
Yeah, keep going. Roll it right over. Right over. Hard. Okay, good.
And
Got a good accumulation of rocks
Yeah.
on the right-hand side.
And it didn't look like it left the lineup to go back into those reds, so
C'est juste
a
un
little
peu
overroll on
plus.
that one. I don't know if that other yellow might even been blocking that shot, so
Pourquoi t'en as
a
plus?
nice little four-leaf
J'allais
clover
plus.
of guards on the
C'était
right-hand
là.
side.
Ouais, pourquoi tu prends pas la même
And
ligne?
Quebec
C'était
throwing the same
parfait.
shot.
Okay.
Over again here, just looking for the guard.
Or down, I could almost say that I'd like the Christmas tree again here. We got to get the Christmas tree line in there. Half around the yellow and half guarding that red in the house.
You like that?
Well, it would be an aggressive call. Maybe not this shot.
Yeah, a little early. If those guards are over a little bit more, maybe, but that would leave
They're
those other ones
almost out
Yeah.
too far over.
exposed. So I think they're just looking straight guard.
Okay, nice shot.
She's got it.
Yeah. Not really any kind of hole there, so
We gotta move some stuff around.
Dia
Shelley's
has no choice but to hit this rock, and she's hoping maybe she'll hit it into that cluster there, and,
Yeah,
and one of the yellow will bounce into the house.
you heard her say we got to move some stuff around. The only watch out here is that you don't put something back in and end up guarding those ones in the
Right.
house again. So
Hard, Julie.
Or ricocheting off, and
Go
your red
first.
bounces into the.
yeah, they're trying to send this over to get a piece of that guard. It's running the line. It might
Might
go
get the back one.
Yeah. So, all in all, not the worst thing that could have happened there. It could have flew by everything, but
Whatever.
that hit curled up. They got rid of the one. Still don't think there's any yellows up top that are lined up to,
That are threatening it.
yeah, to go back into that shot rock. So I think, yep, they're looking at him, and I think Luann already had a look at it. And she's like, okay, she's going to try to get this one in the rings and straight in line with those two reds that are there already.
And we have had a couple of rocks down here, so she knows the line, knows the weight.
Just top 12. Je
So
pense qu'elle a la rouge
we'll see
jaune
the
passée
communication here. Like,
directement sur
if
shot
this
rock.
is hanging out and coming in deep, you don't want to set up the double. So that, if that is, if it's coming in the rings with that option, I guess that sweepers have to communicate that. So they leave it in a better spot so that the double isn't accessible. Luann Waddell with her first rock, and this is hanging out more than we've seen from many of the other ones.
Must have
Now,
been pretty close on
now
weight.
it's the don't set it up for the double.
It's coming hard at the end, but that'll be okay.
It bites the ring, takes away some of that in-turn come around, but we'll see which one they try to peel off, or try maybe the double peel.
These Quebec girls are really impressing me. So they do time either, I'm not sure which way they're using, a back line to hog line or a T line to hog line, and that gives the sweepers an indication of how that rock is and where it's going to end up, so they can communicate it down to the other end. And that's a tactic that a lot of teams use for sweeping. For this, it gives the sweepers a little bit of a advantage.
Yeah, there was no benefit for them to try to drag that rock any farther to make this double easier for Shelley Bradley.
She says she's a little wide here.
A little wide, but it is near the 4-foot line. She's close to this.
Might be
Still
okay.
trying to carve this over. Does get it over the high side, and these rocks are pretty lively, waiting to give it a sweep, but she can't touch that rock till it touches the T line, and it didn't have enough steam to roll up, but got it out of the 4-foot area. Now it's gonna, we'll see if Luann can make the come around.
And being a little wide to the broom there wasn't going to hurt her. Better than being narrow.
And this is the exact same shot that she had her teammate throw earlier. So she's probably pretty comfortable with the ice, and she did have good weight last time. I think the sweepers could have got that in there a lot deeper if they needed to. So look for this one to be pretty close to the 4-foot and come around and then Shelley Bradley is going to have to maybe follow her just to give up a steal. So wanting this one around the guard, on top of the T line. Working this one, she's got some room out here.
A little light there.
She'll start coming now. Definitely wants to get some of the rings. Nope, she just maybe pulled back a little bit on that one. So PEI has an opportunity to blank here, hit and roll out. Nothing else in the rings here.
And I'll let them off the hook here.
Yeah, that was a good chance for Quebec to put one in the forefoot and probably a steal position. If she can get around there in the top button, there's no way that PEI could have got to that one. So yeah, a little bit of a break here for PEI. So let's see if they can execute the blank.
Last rock in the third end.
I always say first priority, make some contact.
That's right.
So any outward motion here, this will run pretty straight for her, not taking a lot of ice. And Shelley, she's got a lot of experience at the skip position. I think she's been to like 10 Scotties.
Shelley? Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? She makes that. Doesn't hit a lot of it, but she didn't need any more of it. Makes the easy peel there. And we have a blank end, so
1-1.
We have a 1-1 score, and we'll be going into the fourth end action when we return.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
Welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We are at the Curl Moncton Curling Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup has the Quebec PEI Ladies Championship pool game. We have a 1-1 tie coming home into the fourth end. And I'm just looking across the building here. On sheet one are BC and Saskatchewan. We have BC leading Saskatchewan 4-2 and having the hammer. And these are all ladies matches in our championship pool here. On sheet B, Nova Scotia and Alberta with a commanding lead, scoring a 5-ender in the third, taking a 7-1 lead there with Nova Scotia having the hammer. On sheet C, right beside us, classic Ontario matchup, Northern Ontario, and that game is all tied up at 2 apiece.
Right, some big ends being scored out there. On the men's side, Manitoba is playing Alberta, and Manitoba is winning that game 4-1. Saskatchewan playing Quebec, and it's 4-2 for Saskatchewan. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, they have not updated that score, so it's 3-0 for New Brunswick. And BC Dangerfield out of Victoria Curling Club playing Ontario, and they scored another 3-ender in the third end, so it's 5-2 in that game.
Yeah, so just looking at the standings in our women's championship pool here, at the top of it, we see that Nova Scotia and Ontario leading the way, both at 8-0 records. Alberta alone in second place with a 6-2. And then a tight logjam for the fourth and final playoff spot with Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Quebec all at 5 and 3. Prince Edward Island and Northern Ontario pretty much eliminated from play at this point in time. We will continue to provide you the updates on that. On the men's side, Penny?
Saskatchewan is in first place with 7 and 1. Manitoba and New Brunswick are 6 and 2. BC, and there's a three-way tie for that final spot as well. BC, Quebec, and Alberta are all at 5 and 3. And 4 losses from our former champion last year. Fleming might not make the playoffs, maybe an outside chance, and Ontario is sitting in last place at 3 and 5. They're probably eliminated from the playoffs.
Yeah, so a lot of critical games in this morning's draw. We do have a couple more draws today for you, one at 2 o'clock and one at 6 o'clock Atlantic time. At 6 o'clock, that will be our final championship pool games. And after that draw, we can tell you who will be making it into the playoffs. If you do want to check that out for yourself and follow along, you can go to curling.ca/scoreboard and get all the game scores that are currently up to date. Check out the standings in the pools and the last known draw results. So back into our featured game here. We got a lot of rocks in play here already. I don't think anything's been removed. We do have Quebec with shot rock in the back, having a center guard up. PEI was attempting to come around and freeze that back one. A little bit heavy, a little bit wide. Waddell, the skip, sweeps that one by and through the house. So good chance for Quebec here to get some early pressure with one of the top rings here around the center guard.
You know, I find it interesting, you had mentioned earlier that Shelley has been to the Scott Tournament of Heart. She's had 10 appearances there. She's been at the seniors the last 3 years. She was at the club championships. And her Susan as well, same, 9 Scott Tournament of Heart, 6 mixed. And she's had 5 seniors. Whereas on the other side, the Quebec, Luann Waddell, she's the rookie skip. This is her first year, and she's skipping here, and she's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, and she actually has the better record coming into this game. With Quebec at 5 and 3, and PI at 3 and 5. And you know, I'd have to say that Shelley Bradley is the face of women's curling in PEI for the last little while. Very familiar, and I think if you followed any PEI games in ladies curling, she was probably there.
And she's also been a 2-time inductee into the New Brunswick Dalhousie Sports Hall of Fame as a team and a player. Well, that's in New Brunswick, but she was originally from Dalhousie, so I'm pretty sure they were honoring her for her accomplishments in PEI.
Yes. So we did see Quebec unable to come around that center guard, and then that gave PEI their first chance to come around, and they've slipped that in for shot around the guard, showing a little bit of it. So looks like Luann's just trying to put a freeze on here so she can get good access to get it out at a later point.
Luann appears to like to have a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah, she's not afraid to mix it up.
And that's also a sign of confidence.
So Isabel, I think they communicated that she's got some weight.
That one.
This looks like it's coming in for a nice freeze. Perfect shot. So that red can be eliminated quite easily. There's nothing to catch it in the back.
I don't know if you can get there. Okay. Okay.
So looking to come in here fairly tight on that.
Could jiggle them around a little bit. What's that? Could just jiggle them around a little bit.
You know, I think I agree with her. I don't think there's enough room to draw around that. It just cuts too hard at the end, right?
I agree. If you just come in here and tight, which we first indicated, they're just going to run that one into there. So by her trying to come around there and tap this one, move this yellow over here, that'll make it a line for her to get that red one out of there. So a little bit of a bump and trying to get onto the nose of this red one.
Well, the sweepers did yell out 3, which is a tight guard.
And sweeping it all the way, they've kept the weight up here. I think she's going to have enough to tap it and get to the nose, a little bit over the nose. They have enough to move it off.
Okay, that's good.
Okay,
close.
So another yellow stone in there. A nice lineup of three yellows, and I think the yellow is still shot stone.
Juste un peu plus. Back. J'avais combien
Okay,
tantôt?
I understood that one. Back 8.
Yeah.
Just trying to tap her red and leave this one up there for a guard. It looks like it might kiss off that yellow. She can afford to get across the face of it a hair to try to tap it straight back.
She might kiss off that yellow, but her red would stay there, so still be in a good position if it's got the right weight.
Yeah, and it would be pretty much fully open past that red guard.
This looked like she threw it a little bit more in, out.
And it's running, and they're holding this.
Coming now.
This looks really good.
Really good weight.
Yeah, good weight and good line. Trying to give it a little bit more of a bump. So,
now she's shot.
Not the worst thing that could happen here. Like, she is shot rock, and that top red rock is going nowhere. And Shelley's got to be careful with this one. She doesn't want to remove her yellows, but it's hard to get those reds out. So
you know, Dan, that was a great shot.
It ended up being better than the call.
Right.
Yeah. Think you got a peel. Short.
Yeah, and Shelley's kind of bailing on the end here. She doesn't like the lineup of all those rocks in there. Wanted to open this up.
Give herself a shot at the end.
And I think she's just straight peeling this. She could have tried to raise it into all those yellows and move them around.
This is going to move on her. See what this one does.
Oh, if it does come back into those yellows will be moving around, but I don't know if she's got enough to get in. Nope, just misses the yellows. She might want to just let that curl up a little bit more and jiggle all those yellows around.
And their yellow would have been shot rock, I think.
And then we just switch it around and she'd be shot, so.
Si on en pousse une ici, faudrait, tu sais, pour la pousser là, faudrait rester là. Ça veut dire qu'on va amener elle là, on risque de la mettre shot. C'est dangereux.
It's true.
Yeah,
she could just play that red one and tap up the yellow, right?
I'm liking her other call here. Like, I don't want to move anything right now.
I think I might guard it.
Because you can actually, it looks pretty good for the red rock because that one can't go out right now.
It does, but the PEI team has a few options there. They can tap the red onto the yellow. They can tap yellow, yellow, yellow.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't guard everything on this one. Oh,
timeout.
Okay, so Quebec calls their one timeout. You're in the fourth end, early in the game, but a critical point. We do have a tie game and a lot of rocks in the house, so the team's going to get together and discuss this. Yeah, I'm looking at all those rocks. I don't really like moving anything that's in the house for them right now.
I wanted to wiggle them.
Right now, if yellow does promote stuff, it's only going to be for one.
She hits this, she's going to get one. If I keep her to one, I'm happy.
I understood that.
Your French is getting better?
Yeah, my French is getting better.
Yeah.
That was a lot of English.
Or we're cheating and she's speaking English and giving us a chance here.
OK, puis j'en ai encore deux en avant.
Si tu fais la même shot puis tu fais juste la taper un petit peu.
Oui.
Ça?
Oui.
Oui.
Mais ça se peut qu'on mette sa jaune shot, là.
Mais tu vas avoir deux, tu vas continuer.
Oui, je vais avoir deux en avant.
Puis elle a pas tout ça après pour te sortir.
So they do have their alternate out here for the timeout. You can see the whole team discussing.
I like this shot.
Speaking of this alternate, so she's got the most amazing resume, Joelle Saborn. She curled with Jennifer Jones when Jill Officer was curling with Jennifer. Jill went on maternity leave and Joelle took Jill Officer's place. So she's got a ton of experience, and her resume shows all the special training that she got on the high elite program.
Yeah, I see that there are 15 plus national championship competitions.
She won the mixed nationals with Quebec.
That's 15 provincial ones, but yeah, definitely lots of experience. So
she also played third with LaRouche from Quebec.
Marie France.
Yeah. So that's a fifth player that you want on your team coming out in the when you're having a timeout to maybe give you some insight.
Yeah, I'm sure she's learned a lot from being with Jennifer, and she has a lot of experience. So our rookie skip here, Luan Waddell, but having a good championship here so far.
Just to curl a bit. Looks like they're going to be tapping that yellow one up for shot.
They're going to be moving stuff around here. Moves it a little bit, and
she might still be shot though. I think red is shot. That's what I'm seeing, Dan.
It looks like it might be up. They didn't move it enough. It's going to take a couple to get that top red one off. So we'll see how much granite goes flying out here after this. That back red that's shot right now, if she touches that top one, it's going to be gone for sure.
So we call that area where all those rocks are the control zone, and there's a lot of rocks in that zone there.
But a lot of them are overlapped and hard to promote like straight back or for shot rock here. So when the smoke clears here, we're going to have a better idea what options are going to be left for these teams, whether it's going to be some tap backs or they're going to have to continue to peel rocks out.
She's got pretty good weight here.
She's looking for a lot of action out here.
Like an excellent throw.
Trying to get it to curl up. Doesn't want to hit too much her yellow and ends up putting it nicely in behind. Double yellow guard of hers, which are in the house. But also leaving a red tap right to the 4 foot. So who's gonna have the better tap here? I think is who's gonna end up with the score in this end. We'll see how it plays out.
I think they're talking their weight.
Yeah. So I think Luan's just trying to come in here, tap this straight back. If she does just scrape by the guard and get it wide a little bit, she can come over here into this one off behind and then leave her shooter right there guarding that hole and probably forcing PEI to tap one of theirs up. So just wanting tap to the tee line, like a button back for weight.
No, right off.
I think we clearly saw that. No sweeping required here.
This has to curl.
Oh. Yeah, I think she's talking about maybe it might raise that yellow, so let it die. Let it come down and wait and hopefully not knock it past any of those other ones.
Okay, so that was a good call by the third in the house, telling them do not sweep it. She must have just popped it out a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
I think her weight might have been pretty good with sweeping, but it wasn't coming up, so they had to leave it. So now I think they have a double tap here.
Okay.
They could tap the red yellow. They could tap the yellow yellow.
Okay, so what are you going to throw, like back line?
I was just thinking, I just got to tap it a foot.
Yeah. Only needs to move one of those yellow rocks up to be full 8 foot.
Whatever you think. I just can't hang, that's all.
Okay, what weight are you throwing?
Just throwing it.
Back 4?
Yep.
I think you need there.
So back 4 weight.
I'm confused on which rock she's going for
yeah,
here.
I mean,
looks like a...
they were kind of lining up and looking at the 2 yellows, but this I don't think this is much ice for a double tap on it.
No, maybe they're coming
across
the other way,
tapping
the red onto the yellow and
yeah. Yeah, she's definitely got enough weight here.
7-8 now.
staying in the 4-foot line, she should get some movement as she's got close to right weight. It's a little heavier than she wanted to play.
You don't want to come on that red one.
And you got a piece of that red? Oh, no.
Yeah. I'm not sure about playing the intern on that shot. I think I would have had a tendency to go with the
you know
outturn.
what? That was coming up, I think, just a little heavier than you heard the team say, a little heavier than what she wanted. It hung out there, and she raises in Quebec for 1. So Quebec steals 1 in the 4th end, takes a lead at 2-1, and we'll be back after a 4th end break with 5th end action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoyed your way.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Hardline Curling Show. This week on the show, more Grand Slam glory for the world's top-ranked men's and women's teams. Canada's best senior curlers meet in the Maritimes, and we take a closer look at the program that's helping the next wave of Canadian talent carve a path to the podium. The broom is down, so let's get started.
In some cases, they invented some of the tricks that are being used out there now, you know, some of the sweeping techniques and some of the deliveries where they're able to get curl out of a rock that maybe other players can't. You know, these players know all these tricks, and it's a pleasure to watch them out there. And they're competitive. I mean, there's a real intensity out there when the games are tight, and you see that play out in the late ends. And that's what's been a lot of fun talking to them. But at the end of the day, they come off the ice and they're sitting together at the table with their opponents and having a beer like it used to be.
So it's called the National Next Gen Program. Let's start with the obvious question. What is it and why was it introduced?
So our National Next Gen Program consists of teams that are under 21, under 25, and under 27. So we've got 11 teams in our program, and they joined our program in different ways. So the two under 21 teams, men's and women's, they won our Canadian championships last year. And the under 25 teams, they won our Next Gen Classic, which is under 25 men, women, and mixed doubles. And then we've got under 27 teams, men's, women's, and mixed doubles. And they were based on CTRS and CMDR through an application process.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our featured matchup has the championship pool with the Quebec and PEI ladies. And we did have Quebec steal a point there. A little unfortunate for Shelley Bradley. She did have a tap or two and found the hole and raised the Quebec stone in. So 2-1 Quebec, PEI maintaining the hammer.
Tapped the wrong color.
Yeah. She had a couple options to tap and it was the wrong one. Just gonna go across the board here. I'll give you some updates and we'll keep those coming. If you guys want to check them out yourself, you can go to curling.ca/scoreboard. On sheet A, BC did have a 4-0 lead, but Saskatchewan sneaking back into that game is now 4-3. BC having the hammer. And speaking of hammer, Alberta putting the hammer down on Nova Scotia on sheet 2 with a commanding 9-1 lead.
Wow.
Going into the fifth end. Yeah, that's, I think Nova Scotia was undefeated going into that game.
Undefeated,
So.
and Alberta has 2 losses, so that's knocking Nova Scotia down.
Yeah, they can afford the loss. Alberta, doesn't want to fall back into the mix. On sheet C, Northern Ontario matchup, we actually have Northern Ontario up 3-2 in that one, and I believe the Ontario ladies are also undefeated.
Right.
So some of the top teams may be coming back into the pack, and it should be an exciting finish.
I do notice the Ontario girls are again playing with 3 players. Mary isn't feeling well, and so maybe they're just giving her that little bit of extra rest.
And that team did not bring an alternate.
Right.
They brought a coach, but
Right, so you cannot, there is no spare pool here, so you're going to play with 3. But
Nope.
as we've seen on the tour and in other events, 3 doesn't hurt you.
it seems to be, a lot of teams can win with 3, and a lot of times we see the good teams with 3. They're just as good.
Brad
but,
Gushu?
yeah, you can win a championship with 3.
So on the men's side, Manitoba continues to win over Alberta. It's 5-1 for Manitoba. Saskatchewan is winning 5-2 over Quebec. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Nova Scotia did score a 3 in the third end, but New Brunswick is still up 5-3 in that game. And the last game over there is British Columbia playing Ontario, and BC is winning that game 5-3, and they have the hammer going into the fifth end. So the scores are coming back a little closer now.
Yeah, in our feature matchup here, we have 2 Quebec guards and 2 PEI stones at the very back, 12-foot, both behind both guards that are side by side. And we now have Quebec trying to come around there. Cynthia Plouffe. This is hanging out a little bit on her. It's not going to finish up behind the guards. Trying to get this one to stop in the paint.
So here we have that fifth end after they did a little sweep on the ice, and
Does tend to get a little quicker, and you can get fooled by it, and it looks like she did there. So
I'm not sure how those yellow ones got back there too, so maybe everybody got fooled a little bit.
The guards are in a good spot, so they were able to negotiate those, but I think they maybe wanted one of those ones in the rings as well. So
Just wait. Yeah, no, 7-8.
so first stone here for Tricia McGregor.
Going back.
And she's
This one's back there too.
She's getting caught in the same trap, hanging out and gliding.
Yeah, we're still 9-10.
It's interesting because you know that mop that they do in the fourth end during the break. I was playing in a provincial championship in BC, and our team, I think in the end, coming back in the fifth end, our team and the other team all threw it to the hack. And after the game, my son called me and he goes, "Mom, you have to tell your team that they sweep the ice in the fourth end, and sometimes it's just a little faster." And I go, "Yeah, I know, we talked about it."
Talked about it, but just didn't quite execute.
We didn't execute.
Yeah.
On a bain de place.
OK,
Le point meilleur. OK. Bain de place. On est où? On
Cynthia
le fait
Plouffe
backing?
trying again.
No.
She's just asking if you need the backing on this one, so I don't think it's going to quite get all the way back there. doesn't bury around that guard.
But good weight.
But a little corner of it, I think there's enough room to still get underneath, but she will probably jam the back with that.
Yeah, no, we got to go this way. Sorry.
So now Susan, she doesn't want to mess with that at all. She's just going to try to hit it out to the left and roll her shooter to the right.
Peel those. Shall we? Like that, or you like the peel?
I don't mind the peel.
Okay, we'll play this.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah, let's play this. Sure.
So PEI with the hammer and a lot of rocks in the house elects to just take the one that is out of the house. So you had discussed maybe opening up the front, peeling the guards. Tough peel on those top two in the guard area there, that one of them would probably be spinning and coming right back into the house. So they're electing to hit the open rock and roll out to the right and put another one in the rings to set up what could be a big end for PEI here.
She's going to send it back on that one.
She does lose one, and I don't know if they get it far enough to count third shot on that one. It's very close. So right now, PEI sitting two.
Bumper.
And Quebec trying to hit and roll under the cover. She does have two rocks to roll under, so makes this a little bit easier on the roll.
Okay, normal.
Contrôle.
Control.
Isabelle Neron, playing a hit and roll under. Her first rock in the fifth end. She's really close to the 4 foot line here, and this is curling up.
Oh, it's close. Needs to curl a little bit now.
Yep, Wool's good sign. She's gonna have some roll, but
just got a little tricked on that straight spot out
it
there.
Looked like it was gonna make the move, and they got on it for a bit, and she straightened it out, and it never had a chance to come up again. So we'll see if Susan McInnes can execute the shot, a little hit and roll under. So if she hits and rolls under completely here, that will leave that back one exposed, and this one will be you know, in the 8 foot if it rolls under. So it'll be interesting to see what Luann does with hers. See if they want to try to freeze the back or come around. But first things first. Okay, they don't have that one to come back to anymore. That one hung out on her a little and jammed the back.
They've had a few shots now where they've got burnt on it.
Yeah, so control of this end, flipping back and forth here. You know, now with Quebec having the rock in the back 8 foot, they can really get the pressure going here. Trying to come around this one into the top 4 foot. This is Isabelle's last rock in the fifth end. Time's flying. So 4-5 should be weight that they want.
You know, these sweepers from Quebec, they continue to impress me, and they're on the right side of the rock, and they're being called the right way, and Natalie held that rock out there. I think she's into bodybuilding, so I think I'd want her as my front-end player, right?
A lot of pressure on that broom. You know, most effective sweeping. Probably 3 critical elements: speed, pressure, maybe 4. The angle and the knowing when not to go.
Right.
So actually a pretty good leave there. They did leave a little bit of that red exposed, and they could have had that completely burying behind those 2 guards, but it would leave that back one wide open. So now Susan has to try to get this one around that top one. 3-4. There's not a lot of weight on this one. Sweeper's trying to get it all the way into the house here. Looking to at least get it by or bump off it. Okay, it does stay on top of it, close to edge, making it difficult for Quebec to, I guess, only one way to really kind of get this out, unless she really gets tight by that guard. Red is shot stone. know that Quebec would try to put a corner freeze. They did tap their broom right there, but
It's kind of the game they were playing last end too. Was
if you move it up an inch, you put them in for shots. So
guard's not bad.
Elle traque un peu ici, je trouve. Ça aligne du cap.
She does not have the hammer.
no, there is that outside yellow that possibly PEI could use later. At least try to get into this area for their one. So PEI just trying to, or sorry, Quebec just trying to put the guard up top here. They could try to eliminate that rock and roll under, and that would really put a lot of pressure on. Not a lot of room for error on that shot though, so I think right now just electing to cap this off on her first one.
And then see what she has.
And then see how PEI responds with either opening it up or trying to get in there.
Hey, whoa, where's the weight? Say go!
C'est proche de la maison.
Lève tout, lève
Got her broom down.
Yeah, just keeping that clean. Make sure it doesn't pick anything up, and with the tight line, not wanting it to over curl here. But this is coming in pretty tight.
It's a good
and
shot.
And that works because it almost overlaps that red. Very hard for them to, I guess,
Not bad there. What did I do?
make a double raise. We'll see what they try to do here.
This is a
I mean,
bit
if
difficult
they try to come
of a
across
shot.
the face a little bit, try to get this red going back out, it might allow that red to be tapped back up there.
What are you thinking here, Dan? Is that the shot?
They can do that. The only problem is where this red rock is going to be left. After they tap that up, they're going to be leaving that in a really power control area for PE or sorry Quebec.
Exactly. They're hitting.
What do you think there?
Well,
Trying to get something so they can find the 4-foot with the last shot.
I think they're get rid of these top two, and then there's kind of one red in there, and I think maybe they're trying to bring all those other yellows into play here, and maybe just have that one red. And they would have like second, third, and fourth shot here. So
She's trying to play the double.
yeah,
Indicated.
trying to get rid of the two reds. Probably if that happens, she's probably going to lose her shooter because she needs about half to 3/4 of the rock to make that go away. So one red should go out to the left, and it's not going to hit much of that other one, so it will be coming pretty straight back. Might actually tap up her yellow. So throwing this pretty firm.
She's out there a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if she can execute this perfectly,
She's got the double.
She can kiss the red and then tap her yellow up. We'll see. And she does and gets it in for shot. Shooter goes off of her catcher on the side and stays in the 12-foot. But the red that she jammed in there did stay in the air, 8-foot. So good shot for her. She opens it up, and she is sitting shot.
But I think Quebec here can get, with the right weight, get the inside roll there and roll underneath that guard out front and remove the yellow rock out the back. He's sitting 3.
Yeah, just a delicate tap. Trying to come around here, get a little bit across the face, roll over here, and just get this one out of there. Doesn't have to knock it out of the rings. You don't want to overthrow this one and have it hang on you and jam that back red one. It would probably go into those back yellows as a catcher and save yourself from giving up a big end here. So, but with a really nice shot here, she can really make it tough for Shelley. Probably leaving her just a draw to the butt.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, she thinks that she's maybe a little bit heavy.
Yeah, this is the wrong side to be hit it on. There is some room to pick it out over the high side. It's very skinny, and I don't think she has any of the weight to do that.
I think she popped that out a little bit.
Yeah.
She's not going to be very happy with
They're
that
trying
shot.
to steer it into that yellow, but
because her weight was actually pretty good. Just got out a bit.
It would have had enough probably to tap it for shot, maybe not to sit 2. So now just free draw for 2 for Shelley Bradley and PEI. She's got some backing to come into this one. As long as she can hold a good chunk of the 4-foot, she should be able to get her deuce. So that was a tough shot for Quebec. There wasn't a lot of room there, but The one side she couldn't be on was
that side.
the outside.
Well, I think that's the first shot we've seen her really miss. She doesn't miss too much.
Yeah, it's been a well-played game. Both teams, trading some chances. Each one's had a chance to put some really good pressure on, but nobody really taking advantage of that. So, Shelley Bradley drawing to the 4 foot for a 2. Take a lead in this game.
Yep, line's really good. Yep, line's good. Keep
Line
going.
is good. Sweepers are still working it. They do have backing.
Pretty
So
good.
Yep.
Get on that rock.
Wait, don't leave home. Sliding.
yeah, this is gliding in there pretty good.
Nice shot.
Yep. And
For her too.
perfect draw weight. 2 yellow stones in the 4 foot area for PEI there. They score their deuce and they now have a 3-2 lead over Quebec, and we'll be back for the 6th end.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup from the championship pool of the ladies, we have Quebec and Prince Edward Island. They haven't posted it up on the board yet, but we're ahead of them. So PEI did get a deuce there and now lead this game 3-2. And looking over at some of the other games, BC and Saskatchewan on sheet 1. BC replying back with a single, so they are now up 5-3, but Saskatchewan having the hammer, and they are in the 6th end. On sheet B, Alberta, Nova Scotia. Alberta continuing to run away with that one at 9-2. And on sheet C, Northern Ontario matchup. Ontario with a 3-ender in the 5th end, now have a 5-3 lead, and Northern Ontario having the hammer. Both those games are also being streamed, a game on sheet B and C. If you want to go to TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada, you can follow along on those games. And over in the other ice shed, Penny, what's happening there?
We have Saskatchewan, well, let's go to Newfield playing from Manitoba playing Alberta. And Manitoba continues to be ahead in that game, 5-3. Saskatchewan playing Quebec, and it's 5-3 for Saskatchewan. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, it's getting closer. It's 5-4 for New Brunswick over Nova Scotia. And our final game over there is BC playing Ontario, and BC is up 4, winning that game 7-3.
All right, so back to our feature matchup here on sheet D. Dan Holowichuk with Penny Schatz.
And we do only have one corner guard, one at the very back of the house. Not too many rocks in play this end.
Yeah, pretty clean. So coming home, Quebec does have the 2 hammers to 1 if they can pull scores up on each end. So maybe playing it a little bit cleaner.
Here, I think, on this side. Maybe a bit more. No. More ice.
So the rock in the back 12 for PEI is probably not going to be coming into play. Cheddar Line still trying to put up a guard, trying to set up a steal here. Somewhere in the center line, close to the house would be preferred spot.
97, did I miss it? Oh, okay.
So with the weather yesterday, there's a blizzard coming in, and we weren't sure whether Mark Duffy, the CEO of Everest, was coming in from down in the United States, and he did make it in, and we were treated to a really nice lobster dinner with some of his people from the WFG group. It was a great evening, and I can't say enough about Everest and Randy Furby, Mark Duffy, and what they do for curling. They host a few events, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, and they're into their 10th year of sponsorship here for the seniors. They started with that event, and then that carried over into the Canadian Club Championships, and then that also carried over into a North American Challenge with the Club Championship winners going head-to-head there in a very unique event that saw Canadian handled and U.S. handled curling rocks and lights and music and stuff. A whole different affair.
Team USA
very
versus
exciting.
Team Canada.
Yeah.
Men's and ladies.
Everest continuing to be on the leading edge of putting some new events out there, and they do a good job. The IKS guys are covering a lot of it for them. They do a really good job. So good time for the curlers, the players, spectators, and just the whole expansion of the curling world. Definitely a big thank you goes out to them.
I guess we should thank the host committee too. They have over 130 volunteers here in different positions. It takes a lot of people to put on an event like this, and they've done an outstanding job. To thank Moncton.
Yeah, and I mean, double the thanks for them, because they did just also have the U21 mixed doubles here. So these sponsors and the volunteers and the ice makers and the drivers, the timers, they've been at this for what normally is a 1 week affair is now 2 weeks in a row. That's why we have such great conditions here. But yeah, those guys have been working hard, and I'm sure they're looking to a little bit of a break after this week. So the play is around the corner guards this end, and which is what Quebec with the hammer is liking. It's a great shot here, just coming around that PEI stone in the top 12, and that buried quite a bit. If you look on the screen, there's not much of that showing. So
that's a great shot.
Not a lot of room here for Susan McInnes to freeze down onto.
A great shot, and again, just swept perfect by that front end from Quebec.
Yeah, papered that one by, and with that rock there, this makes this one really tough. You paper rub off either one, and that's going to give Quebec a chance to hit and roll away or under, and it's a good stranglehold on their deuce.
This one's curling.
It's really cutting. It's just going sideways. Rubs a piece of that guard.
Maybe just a little lighter on the weight.
Yeah. I mean, they would have been okay with coming by and chipping their yellow and opening that shot rock up. They do have both yellows fully open that they could try to get to that red shot rock. So we're going to see Luann Waddell split the house or try to come around that yellow and maybe put a little extra pressure on PEI here and have two buried.
Okay, c'est bon.
This team has a lot of family here, and they have a lot of fun.
They sure do. They're enjoying this event to the max.
I think Luann has 3 of her siblings here.
So this is, in my mind, a really aggressive play here by Luann coming around the yellow, because I think we're going to see Shelley Bradley raise this yellow back if they get it around. And there's 2 reds back there that they can raise this into after, but
she's on the front one.
Yeah, she didn't make it around.
But it is in play.
Yeah, Shelley's going to have to deal with that.
Maybe just a little bit light on that throw.
But I don't love leaving it there.
No.
Okay.
I agree. She is up 1 in this game too, right? So she doesn't want to take
We
too
don't
many
have hammers.
chances.
You don't want to tap our yellow, do you?
We can.
Yeah, we don't have hammers, so.
What?
Yeah, that's a very good point there. You know, don't mind tapping it. I might want to discuss this one a little bit more.
Right.
There is some red rocks in play. It is a very close game. Playing an aggressive shot here, tapping this one up. The good news is that if she does make a nice tapper, she will leave it guarded or have it for another tap opportunity.
And we are in the 6th end
No, it's more like
of an 8-end game.
9-10, wait. Yeah,
So,
coming.
9-10, that
Coming with a little bit-
indicates that it's got a lot of weight.
Good. Okay, we're
a little
just
bit extra
ticking it.
weight.
We're just
She's going to tick it.
Yeah, maybe tick both. Tap, tap, stay there. Rolls it under the red rock for shot stone for now.
And she also has 3rd shot.
Back line.
We're going to see Quebec try to raise this red one back and sit 2, guarded. If she can hit it absolutely perfect, that's the hair on the outside. Just looking to grab a piece of this one and hit it and roll it back to the middle. You can also just hit it right on the nose and maybe roll it back under those 2 yellows as well. So a lot of options on this one.
Even split it.
Making some good contact and make that yellow go away. It's a priority. They're trying to get this one to go over. It's got to curl out.
Make that curl.
She's getting it moving pretty good.
She sure
Gonna
is.
make some contact a little bit, but not enough to get it out. Does keep a bunch of red rocks in the house though.
So now red is sitting 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
So opened it up
Oh, this hanger.
and
There's
sits
2 or
another
3.
one.
We got to hit something.
But she could get a nice hit and roll here.
But we hit
and
that.
take it all
That's
away.
we can hit.
Oh,
So she's gonna
sorry,
hit
that's
up
her
and
rock.
sit
Why
down.
did she hit and roll on that one?
Hey,
I was not going to
that's
do
a
that.
big roll from the outside.
Or do you want to play in the 6? Or do you want to guard ours?
Oh, I don't love the guard, but
Call timeout.
okay.
Okay, so going for a little bit of a discussion here.
And that's a good idea. I need to
Yeah, because
figure this out.
Well, I guess if you hit this and we roll.
Yeah, we could roll deep, right, over here.
That's good.
Yeah, you like
Sit
that?
number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rolls are tough.
If she plays the double, she's
Especially
losing
from
her
out there.
shooter.
so both teams with ample amount of time left here with basically 2 rocks, 3 rocks left to come this end. So 2 ends.
Yeah, we
They
might
both
hit
have
this
around the 10-minute mark for time.
The guard's pretty risque. I think the hit rolls the shot. Yeah, I didn't really think of the roll first.
This whole team has so much experience that it's a
Double then.
good timeout to have.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
Some feedback.
Or I
here.
mean, even if she makes, as long as we don't count that one, that's the big thing. Make her make a play on it.
I think so. No.
They are going to leave that shot rock wide open though. I don't know, what do you like, Dan?
I think that comes off
Well,
the other one.
I'm-
Well, if you took the other turn.
I'm kind of liking a good tight guard on that. It's a 3-2 game. You get your 1 here.
Put the pressure on.
You put the tight guard up, and
We just got to be second.
maybe you get Quebec make something for you. If they open it up, you got your free draw for your deuce. Hitting the open one here and hitting 3rd shot rock, you've got to make sure you roll in for 2nd shot on this one. If you, I think, if your 3rd shot, that red rock that's behind all those guards is never, you're not going to get to those. So this probably wouldn't have been my first choice.
I don't think this would be my first choice, leaving that shot rock sitting wide open.
I agree.
To get the roll.
So
we'll see what happens.
Shelley Bradley looking to hit and roll back to the center and hopefully stay for 2. And that's one other thing here is if she does roll to sit 2, there's a double going to be set up.
Shelley looked like
So,
she
yeah,
threw pretty good weight at this.
And this is a little in out and running down the sheet here.
Now hard, Trish. Hard.
Yeah, I think they'll hang around and right on the nose. So sitting 1st and 3rd and 4th, but that red rock is tough to get to. So
okay, so she could roll either way.
Just bunker.
I, 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 I,
Yeah, but you don't want to roll just one rock over and leave her
Instead of a double.
Leave her the slosh and then make
Yeah.
all those 3 kickers come into play.
C'est
So
une bonne peur, là. Les men,
we'll roll
Mine
2
are
rocks
running.
outside,
Running, but they feel
stay
straight
sitting
today.
2, splitting the house and forcing 1, and we'd have an all tied up game with 2 to go. So right back where we started from. So Luan Waddell with her out turn hit attempt.
Bob.
Okay.
Yep. That's a pretty good release. There, somebody's yelling and nobody was moving there at first. They're wanting it to
The weight was a little more
so
than
now
what they thought.
She's going in your direction there, Penny. And this could be great roll under.
Yeah, get it over there. Yeah.
Look at that. If you can do that, that is great.
That's a
Rolled-
great shot.
It rolled enough that there's no access for that double from the outside, forcing Shelley to maybe look at a double off of these ones through the middle, but that's a skinny double too. That rolled into a really nice spot for them. So I think Shelley's going to try to come down, hit this one, try to catch this one skinny and stick it in there. Maybe the shooter rolling out. Not an easy shot here to have for your last one. She could draw for her one to the 4-foot.
Well,
But she's trying to bring all these, some of these other rocks into play, but
she's trying to get a shot rock and make Quebec's shot a little bit tougher.
all right, yes. Quebec does have the hammer here and sitting 2, so going for the damage control.
Threw it pretty good. A 9.
Yeah, she's going hit weight.
And they brought it back.
Yeah, this is close to great shots.
Oh yeah, nice shot.
Wow. Look at that.
Forces her to draw for 1.
Just when you thought you were in trouble, what a great shot by the skipper there, Shelley Bradley. A raise with a paper skinny double and sticks it.
And called it. Right?
And called and swept perfectly.
Great shot.
That was really skinny.
I
And
think
you
that's
can
a
see,
shot of the game.
You can see by the way that one was spinning out of there. It wasn't hit very much. Had enough to get it out of harm's way here. So a force coming up here. PEI forced Quebec to draw.
Draw for 1.
Piece of the 4-foot to get this game tied back up again. This is all in the sweeper's hands. There's no guards in the way, so they're just
keeping it clean.
Trying to negotiate this one. Give it right to the button. Give the skipper some confidence in case she has to draw the button a little later.
And look at that.
I think she's gonna
No
get
problem.
it right in there.
Good.
All right, so nice draw there by Luan Waddell. Team Quebec scores a point in the 6th end. We now have a 3-3 game, so we got 2 ends of action coming up right after this.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We are in the Curl Moncton Curling Club, and we are in, I guess we'll call it Ice Shed A, with all of the ladies championship pool. I'm going to give you some updates across the board here. BC Saskatchewan playing in the 7th end. It is 5-4 BC. Nova Scotia, Alberta. On sheet B is 9-4 Alberta. Sheet C, Ontario, Northern Ontario. We have Ontario with a 5-4 lead in that one, having the hammer. Both the games on B and C. You're also streaming those on TSN Plus, our youtube.com/Curling Canada. And on our action, our feature action here, it is 3-3, playing 7 with PEI having the hammer. And on the other ice shed there with all of our men's championship pool, Penny, what's going on there?
Manitoba and Alberta. Alberta has tied it up, so it's 5-5 going into the 7th end. Manitoba will have the hammer. Saskatchewan and Quebec. Saskatchewan continues to win that game 6-3, and they're going into the 7th. Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. New Brunswick is ahead in that game 7-4. Final game, BC and Ontario. BC is winning that game 7-4.
All right, so back to our feature matchup here. As we had indicated, we have a couple more draws today. We do have the seeding pool action at 2 o'clock, and then we're back with our championship action, men and women's, at 6 o'clock. Those are both Atlantic time. That will be the final game of the championship round, and we will then have determined our medal contenders.
Right.
And we'll be bringing you the medal round. All that action starts Saturday morning, 8:30 Atlantic time. So you guys way out in the west, you're going to have to get up really early for that one. But you can always catch the action on YouTube. All the games are there, any of the previous games. If you're following a specific team, you can watch all their games on that. After 8:30, at 12:30, we'll be bringing you the bronze and gold medal game for the men, followed by the women's bronze and gold medal games at 3:30, and that would conclude our broadcast schedule for the Everest Senior Curling Championships here. So
I think we're going to be busy, Dan.
We got we got a lot of games and a lot of critical games coming up. I think we've got some teams that may be guaranteed a spot in that medal round. I think we can start confirming them after this round. If
I think so. There'll be one game left.
Yeah, and those will be the guys that are trying to sneak in, or I guess end up being spectators for the weekend.
Right. I'll be in that Everest lounge a little longer.
Yeah. All right, so 7th end action. PEI, Yellowstone's with the hammer here.
We're a little tight.
They do have a rock in the top 8 foot, a little bit around the center guard of Quebec's here. This one's coming tight to the guard. Quebec trying to get around this and into the top 4. She's trying to hold the line and sweep it with, but the weight might be, they played that as tight as they could because it was going to be behind the tee line, so trying to leave that up as high as they could.
Okay, so we are playing the 7th end here, so there is a strategy. It's tied up. Quebec will have the hammer if they can keep it clean or force PEI to take one here. They would have the hammer coming home. That's something that the teams maybe have discussed going into this end. How do they want to play it? Where do they want to be at the end of this?
Yeah, are you trying to force? Do you prefer to be the team with one down with the hammer? You know, PEI would be happy to blank this and take the hammer into the next end. So I look for them to try to keep this clean. Quebec needs to put some pressure to try to make a score happen here. You know, they don't want the blank end here, and I don't know what your percentages are, but definitely not in your favor without the hammer coming home.
Unless you're a few up, I would think.
But with the no free guard zone and no tick, the chances of stealing in that last end have increased dramatically. So not quite 50-50. So Quebec with a hit and roll attempt here, trying to get the force set up. This rock's curling up, but it's going to miss the back. Quebec will sit 2, but no guards in play. So
no guards now.
This is a potential double. And we're into third rocks here already. So Susan McInnes, her first stone. Looking for the double. Wanting to hit and stay to make Quebec have to make a hit and stay as well.
Dan, we are playing in a 10-sheet curling facility, but we have a wall between us.
2 big walls, actually. A little walkway in between the 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah, so this the facility here for Curl Moncton is actually a gathering of 3 clubs that were in the area.
Yeah, the Beausejour, the Beaver Club, and the MCA.
Yeah, so they all joined forces and it got together for this one great building. There is access for 10 sheets, so they can have big events like this here. But most of the time, this complex, the A side is basically 5 sheets of curling, and on the B side, it's usually running with
pickleball.
And after this event is over, they will be taking the ice back out, and the pickleballers can get back into their side of the building here.
But that's nice that they have that chance that they can always go back and form a curling ice over there.
So, and that is why they've had some big events in the past year in Moncton, and I think the Maritime people really step up. They host a lot of championships, and
it's a beautiful place to be.
It's always fun coming way out east here. Once you get adjusted to that few hours of time zone, you're good to go.
Right. There's about 178,000 people that live in Moncton. We didn't get to that magnetic hill, but apparently there's a hill here that if you're driving up it, you have to work harder because it wants to go the other way. Or no, I'm saying the opposite.
Yeah, I think it was the horse and the buggy thing where the buggy was catching up to the horse going uphill.
Going uphill.
And
but it's an
also
optical illusion.
Home of the giant lobster. I think they're...
Is that in Shediac?
The number one this is the lobster capital of the world, right here in New Brunswick. So lots of things to check out. Back here, we're already at Skip Rocks, and fairly clean house here.
Yep.
Exchanging hits for the last little ones.
She's gonna sit.
Luann Waddell wanting to make sure she holds the rings, rolling in a little bit more so that nose and the rocks would be out of place. So good on her to roll a little bit inward, and we're gonna see Shelly Bradley change gears a little bit here, not trying the double, trying to hit and roll under.
She's got 2 shots left here, so if she can get one behind there, she might have an opportunity for a skip's deuce.
Exactly. And you know what? This is, I mean, they've had some chances at the double. She could play that double and play for the blank end and have Hammer coming home. So electing on the gamble here to try to hit and roll under and maybe get her deuce on this end. This is looking really close. She's got a lot of weight, so she's going to get some good pop of that one. Rolls in behind. Pretty much fully buried now. Almost forcing Luann to maybe tap that back.
Or freeze to it.
A nose would leave her one guarded then, but she's going to come around with the draw, and she's going to try to force that way or possibly even steal a point here if she can put it right on top of that yellow rocks. Big shot for this game, and for Quebec, who is sitting at 5-3, and a loss would be devastating for them. And I'm not sure. It would be coming down to a bunch of mathematical things.
Right.
I
see that BC has beat Saskatchewan over there, so Saskatchewan has dropped to 4 losses. So if Quebec dropped to 4 losses, then it would be between those 2.
I know on our team, I usually don't get involved in that too much. I wait and see how it all shakes out. George and Wade on our team, I think they make a little bit of a game of it, and they're like, this is happening, that's happening. So
Well, you are the two-time world senior champion, Dan.
That's probably because I kept my nose out of it and I just said, you know what, just tell me what I got to do.
Not my job.
Yeah. All right, a draw attempt here for Luann Waddell. Trying to freeze that Yellowstone. Trying to get shot rock first. Think her maybe have to hit instead of draw.
Got a girl for her.
They got to drag this if they keep going.
Okay, she's just a little bit short.
Doesn't get down there, but does shrink the draw area down to, maybe a bite of the forefoot's good enough here. So
Shelley didn't take any time in coming down the ice. She knows she has to draw for 2 here.
So that hit and roll worked out for her to get her deuce in this end. Luann unable to make the freeze, but did shrink down the scoring area. We'll see if, Shelley's got to make sure she doesn't get too close to that red one.
Shelley has really made some outstanding shots in the last 2 and last end. She made that great.
Yeah.
Run back.
Really good on the hit. So we'll see when she throw those 9-second hits. You got to come back with a nice draw to the forefoot area here. We'll see if she can still have that touch.
Last rock in the 7th end. PEI drawing for 2.
Line should be fine. All you.
So they like the line early, so that's a good sign. Maybe not having to worry about that guard at all, so everyone can just focus on the weight here.
Shelley said it's all you. She gave it to her sweepers.
Yeah, and they're saying that it's sliding because it is. We've seen this a lot. Anything on the outside of that forefoot line, the ice is really good out there, fresh, and typically a little bit quicker. And it slides through there, so unable to convert on the 2 there, but she does get her single, takes the lead. 4-3, we'll be back for our 8th end after this.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup, we have Quebec and PEI ladies in the championship pool. PEI with a single, narrowly missing their chance for a deuce there, but they are up 1. Quebec with the hammer here. And we do have some other updates. I seen some handshakes while we're on break there. So on sheet A, the BC Saskatchewan game, that is all over. BC has won that one 9-4. And also on sheet B, the other streaming game, that one is also over. Alberta has won that game 11-4 over Nova Scotia. On the sheet beside us, we have a really good one going on there, which we are also streaming on sheet C, Northern Ontario versus Ontario. And we have Ontario leading that one 5-4.
And then on the other side, the other ice shed, we have Manitoba and Alberta. Alberta stole another 2 in the 7th end to go up 7-5 coming home. We have Saskatchewan and Quebec. They're tied at 6-6 coming home.
Well, big 3-ender for Quebec. They're in 7, so to tie that up, wow. Those guys have had a lot of close games and a lot of extra ends and stuff, so
Nova
That'll be good.
Scotia and New Brunswick. Grant Odeshaw is winning that game 7-5 coming home.
Do we need a rub?
And he has the hammer.
It's gone.
And BC, that game's over. BC has beat Ontario 8-4.
Over the former Ontario men's team, Rajala, who I believe is also Masters champion.
I think they won the Masters last year.
Yeah, so both the senior and a Master champion won't be able to get another seniors championship here.
Gotta roll out, Or
So back to our feature game here. We got a really good close one. Both games that are left on the ice in our building here are both one point games.
Yeah, 1 point
so
games.
both are going to be coming down to crunch here in our critical championship pool, second last draw. So right now we have PEI with Shot Rock in the 4-foot and the centerline guard, and Quebec having one in the open in the back 8-foot, which PEI is trying to eliminate right now.
Yep. Right up.
So Quebec does have a corner guard up, and the rock that's in the 4-foot is open. So
Je crois qu'on vient derrière. On freeze ici.
yeah,
J'aime le freeze, moi. Freeze. J'aime le freeze. Okay.
yeah, Luann asking to freeze down to the open rock here. Trying to set up a deuce here. Like
Cynthia has had excellent draw weight all game, so thinking she'll like to throw this rock.
Cynthia Plouffe with a freeze.
C'est la ligne un peu. Sept. C'est la ligne qu'a dit.
You notice on the next sheet, Ontario has won that game, so that takes their record to 9-0.
Wow.
So she's pretty much guaranteed to have first place.
Yeah,
Be-
one game left, and with Nova Scotia losing that one, but do they play each other?
They do. The final game is Ontario playing Nova Scotia.
So if Nova Scotia does win that game,
right,
they would be tied, but beat them in the round robin, so they would actually get first place. So big game there, although both of them are in. So but they're playing for something else. So playing for the hammer in the final round. So we did see Quebec come
a little short,
a little light, but it is wide open and it can be raised back. So we do see Tricia McGregor
I think that's the two.
with her last rock here in the 8th, trying to come around and maybe take away that raise. Trying to sneak around that red, but it's looking like it's going to come right down to that red or on top of it. So it doesn't want to leave this lined up. Sweeper staying close and don't line it up.
Uh-oh.
And don't line it up. So it is you can see that the angle is set up to go to the wide side, but when they're frozen like that, the drag will actually send this red rock straight back if you throw a lot of weight at it. So the more you hit it on this side, the more it actually reacts to go that way. It's a lot of scribble.
That was pretty good scribble.
That's, yeah. And the tighter that these two rocks are together or more frozen, the
better it is.
Yeah, if you're trying to get it to react straighter back. So it'll be almost like hitting that red rock wherever you hit this one. So
And
nose hit.
Isabel was saying a lot of things there. So they must realize that that's what's going to happen. They've talked about it. Good discussion.
So she can actually end up sitting one here guarded after this with a really good throw. So firm weight. Trying to drag this one straight back. Yeah. A little bit on the outside with wood weight would send this back a little bit more to the right, actually almost too much that way, but does roll the shooter off.
It actually could have hit a little bit more of that rock, correct, Dan?
Yeah, so leaving the
Oh, sorry. I think it's too late for that.
Quebec stone in behind, but it's still buried up there pretty good. So PEI Trying to come around with the out turn again here.
Still 4 shots to come from each team.
Yeah, doesn't need to be shot in here yet. This could be a setup shot, maybe top 8, half around, so you can promote it later. She can access that red stone with the in turn. We've seen it, it will come in there. This is coming up pretty big. She's looking like she's going to be tapping her
right. Well,
center
she was
guard.
Tight. It looked out of the hand.
Yeah.
It was a little bit tight.
And she did kind of block that red one for a pick-out attempt on it for later, but opened up a middle hole, so.
And Luann is right there. She knows what she wants.
Je pense qu'il va dans le milieu aussi. Ça me donne peut-être une option tantôt. Dans le milieu, si on se cache pas, on peut laisser un double. Ouais. Okay, let's go.
Want to sit 2. I'm looking at the clocks here. Both teams, plenty of time. Shouldn't be any issue for this end. Around 4 minutes, so. I've seen, I think there was, who was it? Nova Scotia? Played six rocks in about 30 seconds worth of time. So with around 4 minutes, they should definitely get this in. Out turn attempt here.
Third's first rock.
Isabelle Neron.
And she knows how important this is. It's got good line.
Yeah.
It's out there a bit.
Like to sit 2, but wants to stay on top of the tee line and behind that yellow.
It's got a curl.
Yeah, it's hanging out here. Coming hard now. So with trying to get all that maximum curl, it is sliding deeper.
She is sitting 2. Ideally, it didn't come in enough, but you know, there is such a fine line out there.
Well, you can run it this way.
You're inside of that, it could have taken off, and that would have been disaster.
And rub the guard, yeah.
Right.
So sitting 2, that was the first priority.
Okay.
So Shelley Bradley is going to be coming through the hole here and trying to maybe put a corner freeze on that red one. So this is going to be in between those 4-foot lines, which we have seen some curl up really well on them. And later
Susan
in the game,
McInnes's first shot.
Yeah, we gotta go. Hard curl, hard curl.
Well, that'll curl, I think.
Hard curl.
Will it not?
Hard curl.
it should, yeah, it should start going really hard here now with the weight coming in into the
She's on
slide
the front
path.
one a little bit.
It just,
Way over, way over. Okay.
She had great weight.
yeah, that was, I think that
Stayed
would have been perfect weight. I think everybody got fooled, and even us. Like,
Well, Dan, there's 3 sheets that we're playing next to them, and they're all gone. So I don't know if that had any effect on these last few rocks, but they did stay a little straighter than we thought.
so lots of rocks available to be promoted for PEI. They're all
True.
up top there. So, you know, Quebec going hard for their deuce. Are they trying to come around this one and maybe take away
Walk
a little
it
bit of
off,
the raise?
yeah. Take that raise away.
But you'd never really be able to take that raise fully away because they could always chip off and roll in behind all the other cover.
And they do have a rock right in the middle on the center
So
line.
I think maybe
She's guarding.
putting this higher up to eliminate maybe 1 or 2 of these raises. So,
Yep.
yeah, I like this a little better. Coming half around there, I didn't think was going to do her any good. But the downside, there's so many yellows up there to
there's
be
a lot of
promoted. You would need like all your red rocks to cover them up here to eliminate them. So now it's just going to be a pick which one do you like. Like that one did curl up to expose the outer yellow here to come in and tap. You got this one to tap, and if you're a little outside, you can raise it back here and still be shot. Or you got the outside yellow, that can go in there. You got this one,
I think so.
that can also go in there. So
You got a lot
basically
of
all
choices.
4 yellows could be tapped up.
What do you think? Like here?
And I kind of like the one that they've chosen there.
Always like
Because
a
it
middle
could
one.
open it.
I always like a middle because you
could send it behind it.
can always wick off of one of the other ones sometimes. They're a little wide. But it is the longest one. So
And both of those 2 in the middle, you could have done either of them. I think those would have been the best shots, right?
other than that red guard maybe being tight and maybe
the
just
way.
giving you the one turn on that yellow. And we have seen the ones, you know, when you got to try to get through that port with raised weight, those are getting tougher.
Well, Shelley has definitely made some outstanding shots the last 2 ends, so let's see what she does here.
She's got 2 left here. This is her first one.
Backhouse wave.
Not a lot of ice on this one.
And they're saying backhouse weight.
Yeah, so, I mean, she can knock it into that outside red with weight.
This is over curling on her.
Yeah. And maybe a double raise coming here.
Maybe.
1, 2, sweeps, but
Okay.
doesn't have enough for that, so.
Okay. Big
How is that-
decision now.
How is that double yellow lineup right on the center line? What's that looking like? Does it get by that yellow to get the second red shot rock?
Quebec has used their timeout, so they don't have another timeout here.
They don't, but they have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, so 2
Lots
rocks.
of time.
2 rocks to so. There we go. Got our time clock up in the corner.
I think I like that. Oh,
Parce qu'elle en a 2, hein? Oui.
The only thing about that outside double yellow,
Ça, c'est trop creux. Elle va s'asseoir.
you might not get it to roll into the 4-foot for shot rock.
Mais tu sais, c'est parce que mettons qu'on est là.
Because that other red is just biting. So if it goes off that, if you can stick it on there, you're great. But if you get a little on the high side and it rolls outward, then you wouldn't have shot.
T'aimes la glace? Dis aux filles où est-ce qu'on la veut.
So they are sitting 2, electing to, looks like guard
Le plus haut possible.
one of the
Elle a le tap
taps.
ici aussi, hein?
I hope she realizes that she's under 2 minutes now.
Parfait. Ça bloque son tap.
Yeah, usually you would have somebody on your team that's kind of
Watching that time clock.
clock manager. Typically, it's your front end guys down there yelling down the ice saying, we got 1 minute left. We got X amount of time left. So, you know, you don't want to get in the hack and find out you only have seconds and you can't get through your regular routine.
Well, and she's
Right.
down to 1:30 now.
Minute 30. The clock will start when the rock crosses the back line. It'll stop. So
Regarde.
And the third just did glance behind here and take a look at the time clock, so she's fully aware.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez
Just-
que je lance?
They're just not gonna, maybe they don't have to throw their last one. That's what maybe they're hoping.
maybe. So throwing the guard up here, trying to take away the double tap, but there are other yellow taps available. So this is the one I think she feels is that Shelley would make maybe the easiest. So
Ici, les filles. Wow. Line's okay.
It's got to curl a little bit.
yeah,
On va juste la laisser.
just a halfway guard. It can be up there high. The line is
Comes.
probably the most critical thing here.
A sweep here would be good.
I think
The
they-
curl.
I think they're going to get the finish
There we go.
and take that away enough.
That's
So
a great shot.
Look at where her broom is. Right there. Good control.
Put it right there.
Yep. Taking that little bit extra time maybe solidified that.
PEI has a lot of time. They got 3 minutes left to throw this rock, so they're not in any problem there. Oh,
Or do we try just straight tapping this one?
Yeah.
Which one do you like here, Penny?
I think I like that middle one.
Me too. You know, because I think you can kiss off of that yellow if it is lined up that way.
Should drive it in.
And I would just play this one with like enough to raise it to the T-line weight,
I don't think I can play it Frank.
and you would leave it well guarded.
Throw back on.
As
Is your
Marianne
shooter-
Arsenal would say, that's juicy.
Yeah.
But is that
Right.
the shot,
I
or
mean,
is this one out here?
you're gonna have yellow filling that
Like,
hole,
this one go, like, does it-
and
does
all
it
those
split a
yellows
bit?
up top still, and that outside yellow would be guarding the path a little bit for Luann to make her last draw. So
Yeah,
Here, 'cause
I
you think
agree
you're
with
gonna
that.
catch that
I'm just not convinced
Do you
it
think
doesn't.
it would catch this?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
it is really close.
I
You
think
know,
if you're throwing-
with that little bit of separation, you
I gotta go
sometimes don't get all that drag that you would normally get if they were frozen.
They're lined up to catch it?
It's got to be on this
There
side,
might
though,
be a
right?
little bit
I
too
don't
much
think
separation.
This is really hard.
Yeah,
There's
it's hard.
Yeah.
probably more than what we
I
can
think if you
see
throw
from
this
here.
with back
Yeah,
line,
from the
you
angle,
hit
it looks like it
this,
might
like,
kiss that yellow, which,
gotta throw
you
on
know
the
what?
tack, 'cause you gotta hit this
That's
skin,
not a
you gotta
bad
get-
thing because then that puts it right back towards
this on
the Everest button there.
Okay.
There we go. We got
But you
it.
need to move 2 stones, and if you kiss off that one, so you're going to need a little bit of weight here. It's not just a straight draw weight to the button, having to move those stones. You're going to need some, backhouse type weight.
Last shot
In the 8th end,
for PEI.
we'll see if Quebec needs to throw theirs. They are currently sitting 2. And Shelley Bradley, PEI, needing to promote a yellow stone into the 4-foot area.
That look good?
I think so.
Doesn't
I'm
have
not sure.
doesn't have a lot of ice here.
I have to hit it about half on your side.
Yeah, on my side, yeah.
So they are trying to get across this a little bit to get some of the drag and maybe miss that yellow one. Last rock. 8-9. 8-9. 9. She's got a
ton of weight.
A lot of weight on this one. Well, maybe it is lined up for the hit on that back one if she can get it across the face a little. It does scrape by. Gets the red, but nobody's sweeping it, but it does move it out to be third shot, so.
That gives Quebec a chance. Draw for 2 for the win.
For the win. Got to get around that tight yellow one, though, so.
Piece of the 4-foot? Not quite.
So I think they accomplished what they wanted there. That was a takeout attempt to get rid of the one red. Didn't have to remove it because their top yellow was in the out counting it, so.
She's got lots of time here. She's got 40 seconds to throw this rock. She should take that extra breath there.
Oh yeah,
deep breath.
She didn't take,
oh no, she's not taking very much time.
She didn't take a ton of time. Wasn't looking at the clock. Looks like she may have turned this one a little bit. They're on it early.
Oh no, she's on that front one.
Running the line. The sweeper's really trying to hold us out there. It's close. Get it by. She might get it.
Oh yeah, she's got it.
Whoa. What a sweep job. Now it's got to stop. Shelly Brady.
I have to thank my sweepers for that and all that bodybuilding. Wow, that was amazing sweeping.
Yes. So that was
congratulations,
Luann Waddell with the draw to the 4-foot, but I'm going to give that one to the sweepers.
You bet.
They were on that one. I can't believe they held that off the line. Squeaked it by a tight guard, right in the 4-foot. Quebec scores their deuce, comes back and wins this game 5-4. So that's a wrap for us here. That is the end of our 17th draw. We will be back.
We will be back
Penny
tonight.
and I will be back tonight, and but we do have a 2 o'clock draw Atlantic time for you folks, so you can tune into that one. And once again, Dan Hollowaychik and Penny Shantz, thanks for joining us for the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. We'll see you later.